Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? We are back for another episode of The Old Man that's premiering on FX. Hope you guys did enjoy our review for episodes 1 and 2, as well as the debut of The Old Man. We're about to get right into it. Me and Lucas are back here again to talk about what's going on, Lucas.
So, again, a show about old people doing bad things.
Oh, man. So,
and Jeff Bridges beating up people from The Wire.
Hey, look. This is the weird thing about how this started off. I saw this. I was like, I swear he's wearing some scrubs. He was like he's coming off from a long shift. Then it sounded like he was talking to his mom, and then all of a sudden you realize that he's talking to John. He's talking to the man in charge, so to speak, of this whole op. And you're like, crap, what is about to go down? And then sure enough, you realize he's the guy. And it's very fascinating how later on, how they use his character. And I think he did a really good job for what they gave him. But even deeper than that, Jeff Bridges' character, we now know his real name is John. We now know the situation is almost, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do moving forward, but because he's attached this woman to it, things are a lot more dangerous because he didn't want to leave her alone because of that whole altercation. So for you, how did you like the episode? First off, coming off the first episode, how did you like it?
Well, this episode kind of puts you in focus on what you're going to get for the remainder of the season. You get the killer that John Lithgow hired. I can't remember this act. I know this actor's name. I cannot pronounce it properly. But he's an alum of The Wire and multiple other shows that I absolutely love, or movies that he's done. And we get his introduction along with the big reveal, which is who the daughter is. I think that's the biggest reveal of this episode, is who the daughter is.
That was why, like last episode, why I kept on bringing up the chick from Arrested Development. It was like, what do you keep on talking about this chick? That was the reason why. So
just letting things go way too early.
Hey, look, that's what happens when you watch stuff too. But yeah, it is revealed that not only is his daughter alive, but she is working within the FBI underneath his old partner. It's Harold, right? I think that's John Lithgow's character. His name is Harold.
Yep.
And she, of course, she feels like she can handle the situation because she's assessing everything from the within the situation. But I love how the tone shifts. The moment when the agent starts, he questioned her last episode about, Harold and her perspective on him. And she kind of divulged information to Harold, like, look, I don't know about that guy. You might want to watch out for him because he's gunning for you.
Or that he's not like done anything in a career to be in this place in the first place.
Right.
That should raise a red flag.
Right. And so in this episode, they start to talk about her mom and how John came to be with the mom, what happened with it, and how it was a really messed up, shaky situation. And she, for a second, she lost her composure. And she deflected
when he was talking about her mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. She deflected really well, but I think it was enough that Harold saw it. I don't think he knows what to make of it, but he saw her emotionally react.
It's because he doesn't know exactly who her mother is. But you could tell her breaking right in front of him and her understanding, I need to flip this into something else.
Right. Yeah, I'm loving her in this role. But I think that the way that they revealed her in this was the magic behind it. Because prior to the whole situation, John was ready to dip. Like, he was like, look, man, I got to get up out of here. I like you, but if we're going to go, we need to go right now because I got a small little window of time.
Well, his thing was he knew people were coming after him. And he's like, hey, when she said, "Well, afterwards we can eat lunch," and he's like, "If you don't come now, this is not gonna happen."
Right.
Like he fully understood the situation he was in, and he knew I need to get out of here fast.
Yep. And he basically kind of told her like, "Look, man, yeah, I'm in some trouble, man. I got to get up out of here. I like you. You seem like you like me. You seem like this is not the end. This is the beginning. What you gonna do?" And she was like, "Bro, you need to get up out of here."
Yep.
And the crazier thing was, she was ready to call the police. He was like, "Please don't do that."
Yep.
And instead, the daughter calls him, talks him off the ledge. He sits down because at this point, she didn't want to even touch him. And the daughter's like, put me on the phone for a second. And she goes through this monologue and process, and the transition to show her in the car was near perfect.
Of explaining exactly who he is, what he's going to do.
Yep.
If you need to be protected, he's the one that's going to protect you.
Yep.
Like, again, it comes across as sweet gesture, but then you got to go back to thinking the way this person would think if you're introducing them to all this information at one time. They're going to be like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me.
Right. Like, you're already a known criminal. But the crazier thing is, even after they had that conversation, she kind of is like, all right, I'm not even going to call the police on you, but I want you gone, kind of thing. So she goes, give him the phone back, walks out. I love these small little panned out moments because you can look in the house and see him kind of maneuvering through the house, like slowly, and then all of a sudden, like, you hear a small little boop, and then she looks at the mirror and she's like, yo, that's a gunshot. And they're just tussling. They're fighting. Like, all of a sudden, Jeff Bridges is going at it with this assassin.
Especially, again, as you point out, the way that shot is, the way they line it up with the bullet going through that has a silencer on it, and all she can hear is kind of a bit of the glass breaking, and then you get another great one-on-one fight, which is like almost a trend at this point with this season.
Dude, like, he was just going at this dude, and it wasn't like an easy fight either. I was like, I don't know what he's about to do here. Yep. But it was well choreographed. It was well done. It was well shot. And it was concluded very interestingly because we were left to the assumption that that he killed him.
Because that's the way it came across. And you're like, oh, but he didn't do that.
That man survived. And he's got help. So it makes sense now why he says, no, I can get the job done. Because, like, yeah, you working with a team. Like, it's not just him.
Exactly.
I forget that actor, but he was well known as well. I forget the actor's name, but yeah, he's got a partner.
Yep.
I thought that was just done perfectly. The whole scene, the whole wrap up for it, I think they did it really
because she had to almost accept his lifestyle on the fly.
Yep. Like, it wasn't no options. Like, well, this is happening in my home now. Like, they're gonna question you. They could do worse, or you could just leave with me, and it might not be any better. But I think a part of her, honestly, she wanted to go away with him because she really likes him. She likes how he makes her feel, because that moment, I think it was in this episode when he was about to leave, and she was talking about her debt. She was talking about her son, and she was just breaking down in front of him. And instead of just leaving, he just starts preparing food for her. And I'm sitting there. Go ahead.
I must say, because he understood at that moment exactly what she needed.
Yeah.
And that's highly important. Again, it goes back from the first episode when he cooked for her to get the place in the first place. Like, this is him understanding what she needs to feel comfortable. And that's why say, oh, okay, this is another moment like he's having with her, and this whole time is just drawing her closer to him.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm sitting there, got my notepad out. I'm like, man, I need to take notes, man. This man, he knows how to treat his woman, bro. Like, I'm like, I need to be a better husband.
Like, all you gotta do then is murder numerous amounts of people to be him. That's all you gotta do. Kill numerous amounts of people and see what happens.
Look, I didn't say all that, but that playbook, the way that he handled that, like, he didn't. It was all about her. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard to do. it's hard to not like, put yourself out of the equation and just kind of like, because he was like, this is the routine. This is what she needs in this moment. And I think that is effective with any relationship, any deep relationship. And it reminded me of somebody that's like, okay, he's done his time, like as a husband, like he understands what it means to devote yourself to somebody. And that's not something that she's used to. And it makes her fall in love with him. Right. It's making her fall.
Shorted her alimony check just because he wanted to see her struggle. Like again, it just sets up a beautiful dynamic between these two. And where will they progress at, and how would they progress at? Like those are very interesting points that have to be factored in. And it works well in this episode, completely well in this episode. With Jeff Bridges and the entire action scene in it with the misfired gunshot. To even the action moments in this scene, especially with the dogs, who are the real heroes so far.
Dude, them dogs are clutch, bro. Them dogs look like, I was like, they mauling that man. I don't know where he at, but he ain't lived through that point. But yeah, the daughter, after she got off the phone, it was very well acted to me, because you could tell how divulging that information to this woman, that she didn't know if the woman honestly would be, holding the dad back. I think a part of her kind of thought to herself, like, man, if he just get rid of this chick or kill her, he'd be better off. But he was like, you know what? All right, well, I'm gonna tell her what he needs to hear, and I'm gonna keep it moving. So then, just like a switch, she turned it off. Straight business and straight back to what she's used to. And I was just like, yo, this family is nuts. This family is on another level, honestly.
So when the big reveal happens with the daughter, what did you think? Because again, we knew who the daughter was, but when the big reveal with her in this episode happens, what did you think?
Wait, what do you mean? Which part? When they're in when she was in the car and you realize who she actually is, or which part?
That's a good question.
Because this is my thing. The second episode, when she showed up, and they kind of was just like, yeah, the daughter is dead. I was like, I know for a fact this man's talking to this girl. Like, ain't no way this man's that crazy. It's possible, but I was like, there's a reason.
You think she's just strictly playing the role of the inside man?
I don't think that he knows that she's working underneath Harold. I don't think he knows that. I do think that that's what she's trying to do, but I don't think John knows that. I think if John knew that she was that close to Harold, I don't. No, I really don't. I really don't.
I thought that's why she was close to Harold, is because of that.
I think that was her choice, because there was something about when they were having the conversation, or he had the conversation with her on the voicemail. It's like, yeah, stuff is going to come about me. You're going to find out about stuff about this. Our whole family dynamics are going to change. But it was never that, you need to be careful with your job. You need to
do this. I need you to do this. I need you to set up this for me, and things of this nature. And it's weird because of her relationship that she's built with Harold so far.
Right.
And clearly she's up for defending him. But I found it odd that Harold doesn't even know that whose daughter that is.
Yeah, it's gonna be real interesting to see how they kept this secret for this long. Because my other question is, well, this is the weirder thing. Harold's son seemed like he was really tight with her. Now, who? I don't. So yeah, they used to work together. They alluded to that in the third episode, or even the second episode, because he was like, she brought up his son. So I don't know the depths of that, but it seemed like that's where their relationship started because of the son. But it's just so interesting how she's deep cover. She's deep cover.
Way deep cover. The point that we didn't know who she was until we saw her in a car talking, and you're like, oh. But then we also know that his daughter technically on paper is dead.
Right.
So do you think it's a situation where he told his daughter to be dead.
I think that's the only way to safeguard her. I think that would be the only way to keep her safe, because
And that's what I'm thinking.
realistically, he wouldn't have, if people knew that he had a daughter and she was still alive, like, yeah, nah. Mm-mm. So
again, you got to worry about the setup.
Right.
What is he setting you up for?
Exactly. I don't know. I don't even know. And with John Lithgow's character now, like, he's seeing this assassin failed.
Mm-hmm.
Things are getting
I
worse.
failed. He just got beat very, very badly.
Well, yeah.
He tried.
But it's kind of like, the way I say, like, failed as in he wanted to get John killed so he could keep it hush hush. That it's done. Now it's not. It's going to bleed over, because now you're going to need more people that he's not in control of. And so I'm wondering what he's going to do next, because the other guy, I forget that character's name, that's breathing down their neck. When she said, I want to get a meeting with...
Hold up. Here we go.
With the older person. Yeah.
Hansel? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. We find out that's who he's working for. And she was like, I want a meeting with him. You know? And I was just like, bro, like, you don't really know, but your mom, she used to be married to that man. Like, you really want to do this right now? She's doing whatever it takes for her dad, which is amazing. But
and it's again, as you pointed out, it's a very dangerous position to be put in. Because I'm assuming she's been feeding him information for years.
I don't even know. Because remember, he's been in deep cover for so long. Like, he's been retired.
40 years?
Yeah, he's been retired for an extended amount of time. So she's been running her own stuff. Yep. But I feel like the moment that she goes and sees this man, he's gonna look at her and be like, you look like somebody I know, kind of thing. Like,
yep. And that's the key part here. Again, I think it's a very slick move to place the daughter in this situation, because she's always going to be loyal to her dad, but how loyal is the issue?
Right. I don't know, man. I'll put it to you like this. The character she gives off, like, if it came down to killing Harold to protect her dad, she would. I don't think she would question it. I think she wouldn't want to, but I don't think she would. It wouldn't even be a choice. She gives off this vibe that she's ruthless. Like,
she gives off a vibe that she's extremely confident, because she understands now the situation that she's in.
Yeah.
I think that speech was highly important that she gave when she said, well, you know, this is what my mom told me. And like, what she said, a name is just a name, is way more important than the actions that he takes with you. True. Like, it's going to be people who miss the whole point of that message.
Yep. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right with that. But we'll see what happens.
Hey, as we get another big action scene, which is, at this point, I'm loving these big action scenes that they do. And then we get a recovery mission in the sort to get him out, to take him back to his place to heal. How long do you think it's going to be before they just move him overseas, though?
That's a good question. I don't even know. Wait, was this the same episode that he sniped out a drone out there?
That's the end. Well, keep in mind, once he escapes, and then we get the flashback of him saying 100 yards is way more my speed anyway. He ends up knowing that drone is following him and shoots it down.
Like, that is insanity. But I did love that flashback, because it got into how the mom never really trusted him off break. Didn't think he could deliver on the guns. But then, like, he did, and he was like, "Look, this is what I do," kind of thing. So you start to see where she starts to respect him, or possibly sees that she could use him, so to speak.
Yep.
But
well, I think she knows that part of it. Like, she's not been deep cover for no reason at this point.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, nah, man, I'm in love with the show at this point. Like, this is way more entertaining than I could have anticipated. And I think it's
two
good.
older people giving you action beat moments, which we never see nowadays.
Nope.
It's from the perspective of an older group of people.
Yeah. This is a good change of pace from Under the Banner of Heaven. Like, Under the Banner of Heaven was just so emotionally taxing. It was no action in it. It was just emotionally gut wrenching.
It was based off of a very depleting story.
Yeah. But with this, I am all the way behind it, and I cannot wait to see how this goes. My only regret is I wish this wasn't a miniseries. I wish this was like a whole, like, let it ride until it rides. Like, at this point. But we'll see. We'll see.
Because again, I think I brought it up in the last review just how big of a departure this is from the book. So it leaves you in a place where you're kind of wondering exactly what's going on here. What are all the setups? Who are these major players? How come they work for a government agency and the big dog didn't pull them immediately? It brings a lot of questions.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything overly explosive that happens in this episode? I don't think so.
Now, outside of the fight, outside of him sniping the drone out, outside of the reveal of the daughter, outside of the reveal of the other guy working for the mom's ex-husband, I think.
Well, the mom's ex-husband seems like he controls everything humanly possible.
Oh yeah, no, he is power. He's not of power. He is power at this point.
See?
So yeah, that's right.
Again, you just left with a multitude of questions about where these characters, how do these characters progress forward? Like, after attacking the drone, how does Jeff Bridges' character goes forward? We understand that they all tried to recruit him to stay in Rockville with the other companies. You see what happened? It's like, not a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I really only see this going one way, but John would have to go on the offensive instead of the defensive.
Yeah.
At this point now, he's in a defensive position because he's got somebody that could die around him at all times. So
at all times at this point.
I really don't know where this is going to go, but they better pray they don't do something against the daughter, though.
As you said, we don't know where it's going to go, but we are clearly here for the ride of this series. Like, it's a lot to deal with, but I think it's paced perfectly, so that makes up for it. And some of the scenes with the daughter and the other agent, as they're just going by what happens in reserving rooms and stuff, like when you hear that type of talk, it makes it so much better.
Yep. I'm all the way behind how they're doing this. But yeah. On that note, we're gonna go. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. We got a lot of other shows that we're doing. We're doing Obi-Wan. We just concluded on The Baby. The Man That Fell to Earth is gonna be coming out with the next episode. We've got Umbrella Academy.
Blackbird? Umbrella Academy? Second part of the last season of Stranger Things. The Boys, which you can check out weekly. Again, it's grandiose. I like that word right now. Grandiose magnitude of content you can catch on JVS, along with we're currently covering the Tribeca Film Festival. So you're gonna get stuff from there. Like, we're gonna give you lots of content, but when it pertains to the old man, again, the reason why this episode is not a huge deep dive because there's no need for it. This is a extremely straightforward episode. Him breaking it down to Amy Brennan's character, who I am, and that character coming for him and trying to kill him.
Yep. What happens next, people? We'll be back. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Peace, everybody.
Falling out the top of